Hey guys, it's Jeff and welcome to today's video. Now today we're going to be doing something that I rarely ever do, and that is follow a trend. Right now, as you may know, there are a lot of tier lists going around YouTube. People are making tier lists of all sorts of things. And I thought the format was kind of appropriate to make this video that I kind of wanted to do for a very long time, where I would just go over all my guitars and give you like a quick review and talk about them for a couple minutes. And the format is just really appropriate to do something like that. So today what I thought I'd do is create this tier list template and run all my guitars in the tier list and grade them, talking about the guitars a little bit with you guys and essentially cover all of my guitars. I'm going to be doing this in chronological order, and I'm going to grade the guitar based on how they were when I got them. At the end of the video, I might actually come back and revisit some of these grades based on the upgrades that the guitars have gotten throughout the years, but the grading that I'm going to do is really the guitar in their stock form. So the first guitar we're going to talk about is actually a bass. It's this GSR 205 BK Ibanez bass. It's a 5-string bass. It's the first bass that I got. It's a 2002 model. I got it brand new in 2002. It sounded good. It played nice. It held tune very well. It was a simple design. So I'd give this a solid B. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide that one in the B category. And we're started off on a very good note. When I was 17, I believe, it's 2003, so yeah, I would have been 17. My mother got me this Epiphone Les Paul Gothic, and the reason why I got the Gothic model is because I was in like a Marilyn Manson cover band, and I wanted a guitar to fit that style. That guitar actually sounded very, very good, I think, at the time. It held tune fairly well, and I've kept it all through the years. It's actually still here. It's been upgraded quite a few times since then, but essentially the guitar is still around, kicking around, so it's doing okay, and the frets are still good. It's holding tune pretty well. Nowadays it sounds amazing. Back then, not so much. So I would go and give that guitar another B tier. So I've had some other guitars in between the next one and this Les Paul, but none of them that I've kept, and the rule is I'm going to only do the guitars that I still have here today. So the next guitar we're going to talk about is my Epiphone Tom DeLonge signature. Guitar sounds amazing, holds its tune very well. It's a super solid guitar. I like it a lot. So this guitar to me is an A tier guitar. I really, really like this guitar. It's one of my favorite guitars I own. Reason why it's not an S is because it's, it's still just an Epiphone, right? So it's made in China. It has a US 30-finger pickups on it, but yeah. Alright, next guitars I got are both basses, because at that point I had started my band with the guys Mick and Fred. By the way, we're going to do a show with Family Reunion, the band that this original band actually became. It's coming September 6th. I'm going to announce that a little later, but for those of you watching the video, here's your preview of that. Yeah, when we started the band in like 2013, I had to get a bass for it, because all I had for a bass at that point was my 5-string. And I wanted a Fender bass. I wanted the P bass. It's a Mexican standard, so I'm going to give it an A tier as well, because, an American P bass would probably get an S tier in my opinion. This one, just because it's Mexican, I'm going to have to grade it down one notch. Then I needed a backup for that, and I got the Ibanez ATK 200, and this bass completely blew my mind. Like, when I got it, I traded in a 5-string that I had at the time, and I thought it sounded amazing. It was super versatile. It holds its tune. It looks amazing. It catches people's eyes because of that big metal bridge. To me, that bass can do anything, unlike the P bass, which sort of can do almost anything, but it has some limitations. This can really, really do anything. This, to me, is my first S-tier guitar. That's the first one that's really blew my mind. Although I more often play with a Fender because I like it more for the type of music that I play. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's too heavy and it doesn't say Fender on it. Then in 2014, I started this band Spider, which you might have heard of because I just released a couple videos of talking about it. Figured I wanted a guitar that could do it all. So I wanted 2 humbuckers, a single in the middle, a Floyd Rose locking, fast neck, and I didn't want to pay too much. And I ended up getting this Ibanez RG370 DXC. The Floyd on it is actually pretty good. It holds tune very, very well. The neck is fast. It needed a lot of work, but it's fast. I like the dragon tooth inlays that it's got. However, the pickups on this were absolutely terrible. This guitar sounded like total shit, and If it wasn't for tuning stability, I would probably knock it down even more, but as it standard, I would give it a C tier grade here. Again, a little later, I decided I wanted to try the single coil life, so I got the Telecaster. I always liked how the Telecaster looked. I don't think it sounds particularly good. It's a Mexican standard Fender. I think it's a little twitchy to play for some reason, so I'm gonna give it another C tier because it's a quality instrument, but I just don't really like it. Then I got my Gibson SGJ 2014. This guitar is just amazing. It doesn't hold its tune so well, but it sounds amazing. It looks amazing. It plays amazing. So even though there is a play authentic dilemma going on here and the fact that it doesn't hold its tune quite so well, I'm still going to give it an S tier because it's just great. I mean, I love this guitar. It sounds so good. Then the Squier J5 Telecaster. Now this guitar was given to me in part. I've talked about this in a couple videos before, but a friend of mine got it, hated it, parted it out, and it was ready to set it on fire, basically. And I said, I'll give you 20 bucks for it. And he said, whatever, just take the bag and, take it out of my hair. So I took it home and I rebuilt it, put the DiMarzio in it. This one is going to be kind of hard to grade based on its original merits because I never actually seen it play in its original stock form. I got it in parts and rebuilt it and the way I've got it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grade it how I think my friend graded it, and then we can revisit that later. So this guitar was parted out and ready to be thrown in the fire, so it's going to have to be an F tier guitar for now. Now, I don't know what to call this. This is my own made tummed-along Fender signature replica that I built. It has a Squier neck. It has a J-Tercer body with J-Tercer hardware and a legit Seymour Duncan Invader in it, but it holds tune. It sounds very good. It's fairly heavy because I made it that way, but overall it doesn't look very good because I'm not very good at finishing work. So I'm gonna have to give this guitar it's like in between a C and a B. If it looked a little better and not as sketchy, and I might have given it a B because it holds tunes well and it sounds amazing, but it's still sort of homemade and cheap, so and made out of fairly cheap parts for the most part. So I'm gonna give it like a between B and C tier here. Next guitar I got, we're not gonna talk too long about this, but that's a definite F tier. That's the fake Chinese PRS replica that I bought for the giggles. I wanted to make more videos about this, but honestly it's so bad, and the reason I got it is because some of the videos you found on YouTube were sort of leading me to believe that it could actually be salvaged, or in fact there's nothing good about this and it can't be salvaged. So it's going to be definitely an F. Next guitar is the RG8. It's the 8-string Ibanez that I got in 2016. I got this guitar because I didn't have a 7-string anymore and I wanted to buy another one, and this one just came up and it was super cheap. I don't really like it, to be honest. It doesn't play well. It doesn't hold tune so well. It doesn't sound good. It would need a lot of work to be helped. I'm not going to give it an F tier because it's still playable and it's still sort of unique, so I'm gonna give it the E tier, but other than that it's not that great. And then we get into my acoustic phase. I got a couple of acoustic guitars there that I got at that point because I was starting to play more acoustic with Spider and with Unicorn Army with my buddy Fred. So the first acoustic I got was my Taylor Big Baby E. I would give this an S tier because I really love it. However, it's the entry-level Taylor, so I don't think it quite deserves an S tier. Plus, I found out it's what the Taylor Swift signature model is based off of, so I gotta knock it down a little. I think it's still above an A tier, so I'm gonna grade it like between an S and an A tier, and we're never gonna talk about that again. Now, I needed backup for this guitar, so I went to the guitar shop one day and I wanted to buy a Norman. They're Canadian guitars, they're made here in Quebec. And a couple of my friends had them. I liked how they sounded. I like how the neck played. So I decided I would get a Norman just to encourage the local guitar builders as well. Oh yeah, and I wanted one with a cutoff because my Taylor doesn't have a cutoff, and I didn't want to compromise, and I needed this backup for a show like right away. So the guys ended up recommending this Yamaha FGX 800C. I never really liked Yamaha guitars, so I originally just brushed it off. But then when I tried other guitars, since the Normans weren't available and I couldn't find anything, they came back with a Yamaha and said, "You sure you don't want to try the Yamaha?" I said, "Okay, fine, let's try the Yamaha." And I was like really surprised. This guitar is really good for the price and really good for a Yamaha. I never liked Yamaha, as I said, but so I ended up purchasing it, and it was cheaper than a Norman, and it's a nice guitar that plays well and I can bring to fires and things like that. So this one I'm going to give it a solid C tier. The Charvel. Charvel is gonna be an S tier. Don't have much I can say about this. I mean, the DS1 ST, I made a whole video about why it's my favorite guitar, so it has to be an S tier for me. And this thing is the PCEB12MH or something like that. It's an acoustic bass from Ibanez. I paid 150 bucks for it. I mean, it plays okay. It doesn't sound very good, especially when it's plugged in, ironically. It doesn't look very good. I don't know what the fretboard is made out of, but every time I try to clean it off, some dye comes off it. So it looks like it's a fairly light wood that's been tinted almost purplish color. It's okay, but nothing special. I don't want to put it at the same level as this. I think I'm going to put it like here. It's like halfway between an E and an F tier. It passes, but like sometimes it doesn't. And finally, we're going to talk about my Jackson now, the King V. I'm not disappointed by the looks and the shape. However, I'm a bit disappointed when I got it by the electronics, the tuning stability, the nut. It needed quite a bit of work, and I was really disappointed at that price point that it wasn't better than this. So I'm going to have to grade this a D tier guitar, I think. And what I'm going to do is sort of revisit some of those guitars, see if we can help them out. The John 5 Telecaster, as I said, I've graded this one based on how my friend experienced the guitar. He didn't like it at all. I only played it modified. It has a DiMarzio Evolution pickup, has a new nut. Overall, it sounds good. It stays in tune. So I'm going to bump this up between a C and a D tier. I wouldn't be so bold as to put it quite as high as the Telecaster, but the fake PRS, it's got to stay where it is. This thing, yeah, it's got to stay where it is as well. This thing as well. This could probably make it up to like a D if it had a better pickup. If I could find a nut that helped it stay in tune, maybe it can make its way up to a C, but probably not. Now the Jackson, this is a bit of a redemption story. I changed the pickup, I changed the nut. Now it stays in tune, it sounds great, still looks good. So based on these latest modifications, I'm going to bring it that to a B tier. The RG370DXZ, I've changed the pickups on it and it completely changed the guitar. It actually sounds like my Gibson SG now. I got some tone riders in there, made a video on that. After all the work that's been done on it, it stays in tune super well, sounds super good. The only thing I don't like is that it has a Floyd Rose, but then again, it's sort of why I got it, so I can't complain too much. So I'm going to have to re-rank that guitar as sort of halfway between an A and a B. This 5-string, I got a lot of things done to this, so I made it a string through. I've installed some active EMG pickups on it. I've modified the looks completely. I've reshaped the neck. Even despite all the improvements over the years, I'm going to have to knock it down, I think, to like between a B and a C. Sorry. Oh, you know what? Let's be fair. We're going to leave it at a B. We're going to leave it at a B. It deserves its B. But despite the improvement, it still hasn't gone up any further up. The Les Paul, now this one, it's gone through many iterations throughout the year. Right now, it's got a Seymour Duncan Blackout, the Mick Thompson signature. It's tuned to drop B. Only has one volume, one tone, no selector. It's got a new Tusk nut, obviously. It stays in tune very well. It sounds amazing. It plays great, despite its old age. And so I'm going to crank that one up between like an A and an S tier. And it's my first guitar, so it's got a special place in my heart. Yeah, this one is a controversial one. The P bass, I've changed out the pickup. I've made a conversion with the string through. I've added the pickup cover, changed the nut, changed the tuners. Been upgraded to a point where it's really more of a Mark Hoppus signature than anything else. So kind of have to bring it up to an S tier as well. Even though it really shouldn't be there, it still kind of is. Yeah, that sort of covers it. So you can kind of tell where I think my guitars lay. Now, obviously, guys, if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. You can subscribe if you wish. I don't like to beg for likes, but if you want to, you do that. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.